The Nongoma municipality in northern KwaZulu-Natal relies on government funding to provide services to about 300,000 households. It delivers services from its 250 million rand budget. In contrast, and closer to Durban, the KwaDukuza municipality, with a population of just over 276,000 people, has a budget of 2 billion rand. It's these disparities that prompted rural municipalities to call for reforms in the allocation to allow for more equitable share by the government.
Rural municipalities in particular, who have no revenue base whatsoever, are perpetually being made to actually be poor, because the rural municipalities are actually at the coalface of poverty. They are at the coalface of unemployment, and yet the funding that they are actually getting by way of equitable share is a pittance when you look at the backlog on infrastructure development. For instance, in Nongoma, when you talk about roads, you are actually talking about gravel roads. Then what do you do if you have only one grading machine to go and actually repair those roads?
The irregular expenditure for some urban municipalities like Msunduzi surpasses the budgets of rural Nongoma, Ndwedwe and Kandla municipalities combined. The recent audit outcome showed that Msunduzi had irregular expenditure of a whopping 907 million rand. The South African Local Government Association in KwaZulu-Natal says they've been lobbying for reforms in the manner in which municipalities are funded.
The gap between the rural municipalities in terms of the funding is quite huge. As a result, the rural municipalities are receiving a minimal budget, which impacts on service delivery, since the urban municipalities, they receive more budget. SALCA, in our Lehotla, which was held in Cape Town, we had interaction with the national minister where we raised the issue that the allocation to local government is almost 9% of the total fiscus of the country, and it's even worse for the rural municipalities because they really receive nothing comparatively.
The Minister of Cooperative Governance, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, says they are in discussion with the National Treasury to change the legislation governing municipal funding.
The funding model was based on previous municipalities, which were white municipalities that had a revenue base, that were able to collect revenue. And we based that model on the basis that each municipality will collect its own revenue, which is not true. Some of the municipalities can't collect revenue because there is no revenue base from which to collect. They survive on grants. Sometimes they default, they are not able to pay ESCOM because the communities they serve are indigent. Whereas the previous municipalities were serving people who were not indigent, who could pay for electricity, who could pay for water. So yes, it's true that the funding model should change.
Dlamini-Zuma has urged rural and smaller municipalities to stimulate economic growth in their own areas to create jobs.